Tunisia, ranked 30th in the world by FIFA, will be making their 6th appearance at the World Cup in just a few short days' time. The first time the Tunisians graced the pitch at a World Cup was down in Argentina for the 1978 edition. It was a thunderbolt of a start, with a shocking victory over Mexico 3-1 in Rosario, becoming the first African nation to win a game in the World Cup finals. This would in fact be the highlight of the tournament for the Eagles of Carthage, as a damaging 1-0 defeat to Poland. The third-placed finishers from 1974 preceded a flat draw versus West Germany in their second two games. Despite only giving up 2 goals the entire tournament, they would not advance to the round of 16. It would be 20 years before the men from Tunisia qualified for the world's largest stage once more, but they were back for the French edition in 1998. Unfortunately, they would open the tournament against a strong England side with the likes of Alan Shearer and Paul Scholes amongst the goals in the first match. A Colombian side that included the hairpiece we know and love, as Carlos Valderrama were a mean test in the second game, and the Tunisians fell once more by a score of 1-0. The Romanians were a strong team in that tournament, eventual winners of the group, but the Eagles of Carthage put in a for-the-badge performance and drew them 1-1. But it was not, however, enough to see them through to the next round. 4 years later, drawn in a tough group in Korea, Japan, the first match against Russia would not go their way, and the tournament started with a 2-0 loss. Never easy to recover from losing the first match, but a brilliant free kick provided a lifeline with a wonderful draw against Belgium. Unfortunately, joint host Japan awaited in the third match, and the Blue Samurai would not be outdone, sending the Tunisians crashing out 2-0. The third successive qualification for Tunisia in Germany was a wonderful achievement, and their group looked a bit more enticing than in years gone by. Well, at least on paper. The first match was all-important versus a Saudi team they believed they could beat. A thrilling 2-2 result was somewhat disappointing for both, but excellent for the neutral. Ha! There are no neutrals in the World Cup. The Spanish side were favorites in this group and showed it in a dominating 3-1 victory in Stuttgart. This meant that there was only one path to qualification for the next round, and that was defeating Ukraine in the final match. Nightmare strikes in the 45th minute as Tunisia were reduced to 10 men. A valiant effort standing tall until the 70th minute, but Andrei Shevchenko would net from the spot for the game's only goal, and the dream was torn asunder once more. 12 long years went by before they qualified once more in 2018 for the World Cup finals. The Tunisians would meet the English in their first match in Russia. Harry Kane lifted English hearts and dashed Tunisian hopes with his second goal of the game in the 91st minute to just edge the game 2-1. After an inspired performance from the men from the North African nation, the Tottenham man showed no mercy, pouncing in the box as only he can. As if England wasn't tough enough, the Belgians awaited in Game 2, and it was a feast of goals. Just not one the Tunisians will want to remember. Eden Hazard, Romelu Lukaku both scored twice, and Batshuayi added insult to injury in stoppage time for the final 5-2 scoreline to the Belgians. The third match against Panama, who were already likewise eliminated from the tournament, was a for-the-badge match, really, with only the pride of your nation to play for. The Eagles of Carthage would record their second win in World Cup history, the first since their very first game, meaning the only times they have won were the first and their last. But the Eagles of Carthage are back in Qatar with an interesting group awaiting them. Like so many, the first game is massively important versus the Danish. With Australia up second, they'll hope to have done all the damage they need and have already qualified before facing the French monster and Ballon d'Or winner, Mr. Karim Benzema. Wabi Kazri will look to extend his lead at the top of the goal scorers list for the Tunisians at the upcoming finals, and he'll need to get these goals early on in this group for them to foster the hope, the dream, and the spirit that only the World Cup can bring.